Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. And let me just start by declaring I'm a shareholder in Scottish and Southern Energy and in the Boyndy Wind Farm Cooperative Limited, which is a wind farm very close to where I stay. And of course, this is an excellent opportunity, thanks to Lewis MacDonald, to celebrate Offshore Wind Week 2018 and the contribution it makes to our economy, the contribution it makes to employment in local communities, and of course the contribution it makes to the climate change agenda. It was only a couple of years ago when the French Republic's President François Hollande offered his plea to work together against climate change. The time is past when humankind thought it could selfishly draw on inexhaustible resources. We now know the world is not a commodity. Well, with Scotland, as we've heard, being the windiest place in Europe, we have something that shows no sign of being an exhaustible resource. And the development of offshore wind has been a terrific contribution to the climate change agenda, as well as everything else. And of course, I have two particular things. Where I stay, I only have to go a few hundred metres to the east, and at night I can look out over the Murray Firth and see the Beatrice wind turbines that were put up as the first trials in the area. But more significantly, the high wind offshore development, the floating off Peterhead, which has been referred to by a number of members and referenced in the motion. That's truly groundbreaking, water-breaking technology, and it opens the door to deployment of that technology in shallow coastal areas around the world. Now, of course, offshore wind is not particularly new. I know next to the Øresund Bridge between Denmark and Sweden, there's been a wind farm there for quite a considerable period of time, but the high wind technology and the technologies we're seeing developed off our coasts are much higher capacity, much higher outputs, partly because of developments in China and the use of rare earths and new magnets to increase what can come from ahead. Now, I visited a local firm in Peterhead in the last couple of weeks called SurviveTech. They are one of many firms that are developing new technologies. In their case, they're developing an escape technology for people who are up at the top of one of these wind turbines, and flashover fires can happen in a matter of seconds. So they've developed a very rapid escape technology, and I wish them extremely well, and they certainly deserve to get wide market acceptance. But they won't be alone in exploiting the opportunities that come from having these sources of offshore wind close to some of our communities. Now, of course, there's service vessels will be going out to service them, and a number of the harbours in my constituency at Fraserburgh, Peterhead, and indeed at Buckie look forward to opportunities to service them. And I understand if you go to Caithness that Wick too would look to get its share of the business. And we'll see how that develops, because healthy competition between these harbours is not at all a bad thing. And of course, the First Minister was up and visited the high wind farm. Pilot project underlines the potential of Scotland's huge offshore wind resource. So right at the top of government is recognised how important this all is. I too wish it well and repeat my thanks to Lewis MacDonald for providing the opportunity, for congratulating everyone who's involved in this, and more to the point, those who will be in future. Presiding Officer.